Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hey, before we even begin, all the people who always show me love in the comment section and, they say stuff like, "We love you, Mick." I see it and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you greatly. So now let's get into it. I'm going to do a good job for you, as I always try to do. This article is titled, "Ripple Recognized as Best Cross-Border Payment Platform for 2024. Don't worry, later we have some Solana news. We got Bitcoin news. We have Cardano news that's coming up in later chapters, okay? It begins here. FinTech Breakthrough recognizes Ripple's expertise in the payment industry as the company wins awards for Best Cross-Border Payments DeFi Infrastructure Platform for 2024. Ripple's role in the payment sector cannot be overemphasized since its launch in 2012. So what that means to me, if they're still being considered the best, that means we're still in a prime position. That means other big institutions know that, ones that may not have a partnership with Ripple as of yet. Then I'm going to draw a connection to, remember 2 weeks ago that Brad Garlinghouse was on TV you saw the video where he was talking about pushing XRP everywhere. Of course, when the time is right. I'm paraphrasing. I mean, you saw the video, so I can't remember exactly how he put it, but there was a cadre of articles written on that as well. So Ripple's in position. We're close to the end of that case as far as the institutional use and all of that type of stuff. And we have Brad Garlinghouse talking about XRP, praising it, talking about how he wants to push it everywhere. All of that lines up. That's what we want. At least that's what I want. That's what the XRPL needs. Everything is going according to plan as far as what I can see. I'm not financial advice. You make up your own mind, right? I'm not a financial advisor. But it's looking really, really good. Then on top of that, we're getting this pullback right now with Bitcoin, which I don't know how long that's going to last. I already see people in articles, big timers in articles talking about, oh, I'm capitalizing, buying more. This is a great opportunity. So I don't know how long this rubber band is going to be pulled down before it flies up again. So then you have that because everything's going to, possibly skyrocket some more at some point. Then, and we'll see how it goes before the halving. I think that we still have a little bit more to go as far as Bitcoin price can go up and the crypto sector can go up a little bit more once again. But then when the halving comes, we have all the experts saying, hey, everything usually goes up even more. So you have all of this bubbling at the same time. So I'm trying to keep all of that in mind right now. So let's continue on here. It says, since the launch in 2012, the California-based company has provided enterprise-grade infrastructure. Okay, so that we know. Let's scroll down here. Ripple wins prestigious awards. Good. We want the company having respect. Respect brings in partnerships. It brings in reputable and respectable companies. And we already were doing great. We have relationships with SBI. We have relationships with Bank of America, a whole bunch of banks. They claim hundreds of banks. So we're already looking good. This is just like sprinkles on top of the cake. It says, given its expertise in the global payment sector, Ripple was recognized as the best cross-border payments platform and best DeFi infrastructure platform in the 2024 FinTech Breakthrough Award Program. You know what I'm going to be interested in hearing, and I'm not sure if I've said this before, but if you've looked at a lot of the banking news as of late, and I'm actually going to cover something in the members only section either today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But if you've been looking at the banking sector, what has all of the experts been warning people about? I've made a lot of posts on this, or at least I've shown in videos as well. They've been telling people, hey, same thing I've been saying. Hundreds of banks are at risk of going down. It's either this year or next year, one of them. Who knows when? They're in a bad position. But wait. Did you see the articles that were coming out the last 3 days? They're talking about the small banks. Now, I did cover some articles on the bigger banks. You saw that in one of the videos last week, right? I showed you the visuals of it, of how much they're exposed to commercial real estate. But I mean, if we are to believe them, what they're saying now is that the small banks are in a very, very precarious position. Now, how does that play into XRP and Ripple when I think about it. And it extends into Stellar as well. Stellar, Algorand, and Ripple are the big three for me in the United States because they have long-lasting relationships that they've cemented here in the United States. That's why I always think about them primarily when it comes to US and US banks. Now, Ripple last year was talking about going after a lot of the commercial banks. There is no way that I am to believe that they don't know that the small banks need new infrastructure, need to save money, need better security, need to be able to expand business to grow because they are in jeopardy, that they are the ones, if I am to believe the experts, that are most at risk of collapse because of commercial real estate, unrealized losses, etc. Deposit flight. Remember, deposit flight, which is people pulling their money out the banks, has never slowed. It has not slowed yet. It's still moving at a rapid rate. And it's actually interesting. I actually had a laugh at an article I read this morning. I was reading some articles and somebody was saying people need to pull their money out the banks because there's certain banks right now they're reporting on that are in really big trouble. And I just had a laugh and I was saying to myself, has this person not seen the research on deposit flight? People have been pulling their money out of banks for the last year and a half en masse, right? And that's one of the reasons why, and this is another thing, let me bring this back up again. That's another reason why I always once in a while bring up what? That huge cash pile on the side. That's a lot of that money came from the deposit flight that people pulled out of the banks because a lot of individuals don't trust banks anymore. You logically, I don't think you logically can trust them. You can use them, but I don't think you can trust them because at any moment something can happen. We reported a multitude of times on Wells Fargo losing people's money. I'm not sure what's going on with these banks. If these are real losses, I think, well, I'll keep that to myself to be safe. But people's money has been disappearing. We read about somebody's capital, $7,000. This was in the last 2 days. You can find that article easily. Someone's money went missing. $300,000. Somebody's money went missing. Somebody lost $25,000. I think that was an elderly person. And then remember the elderly gentleman that an executive, this is what they claim. I put the article in the video that an elderly gentleman had over $1 million taken from him by a bank. The people are sharing these things, these happenings on social media. So bank trust is at an all-time low. So Ripple, if they're wise, and I believe that they are, I believe that they're busy. Listen, I know how business works. When businesses that are successful get quiet, it's not because they're not active. It's because they're getting overburdened. They're overly active. They're constantly on the phone. They don't have any time to really be making all of these posts. And I don't want a business that I want to thrive and want to make money off of, not really Ripple, but, if they use XRP, their infrastructures use XRP. You know how that whole thing works. I don't want them being social butterflies in the media or on social media. I want them to work. But I believe when they said they're going after commercial banks, I believe a lot of them are the at-risk banks taking advantage of that. And the at-risk banks will have to connect to a lot of other different institutions and banks. They have branches, all the different branches that have to operate as well. That's a lot of capital that could possibly be scraped up by Ripple. Prestige like this puts them in the driver's seat and makes other companies say, hey, who's this? What's this company Ripple? They're saying they could save a lot of people money. How do we get in contact with them? How do we use them? You see? So I like this. So now let me move on here because we have some stellar news as well to get to. So let me not take too much time today. I'm going to get through all of this and I'm going to give it to you straight today. Not too much opinion from me. Not too much wanton opinion, right? So anyway, so now this article is titled, just to bring a little bit more clarity to what we were covering yesterday about the SEC. Their SEC is in a lot of trouble. So this article here is titled, "The SEC versus Debt Box Ruling Sours SEC's XRP Appeal Prospects." So we read a little bit about this yesterday, but I felt like this article brought more clarity to what is going on here. They're in a lot of trouble across the board. There was one judge that this is what the article claims, was thinking about limiting the SEC or sanctioning them. That's the verbiage that they use. I'm not sure if they're actually going to do such. It says on Monday, XRP. Well, we don't need to hear about XRP. Let me scroll down here. It says Judge Robert J. Shelby denied the SEC's motion to dismiss the case against Debtbox, according to the court ruling. Then they have a quote from someone here. It says the court concludes the commission engaged in a bad faith conduct in seeking, obtaining, and defending the ex parte TRO, asset freeze, and appointment of a receiver. Now, wait, that phrasing, bad faith conduct, that was said by another judge in a separate thing that's going on with the SEC, if you remember. So this tag, for some reason, is being used. Not some reason. We know they've been doing a lot of bad, but that phrase they've chosen in particular to attach to the SEC, bad faith conduct. We heard it last year. We heard it in another case that they have going on. We're hearing it in this case here. So the SEC, what I'm trying to get to, is currying this reputation, developing this reputation of being a bad faith actor, having bad faith conduct. And what that really means is just a very, very nice way of saying that they're wholly and completely corrupt. And what they do is not above board. The problem is, what are they going to do about this? So that brings a little bit more clarity. And of course, this is going to affect all of their ongoing cases. It says the court ruling comes at a difficult time for the SEC, which faces increasing scrutiny over conflicts of interest leading to the SEC versus Ripple case. Yes. OK, so that jogs my memory from yesterday, where it's that other case where they're looking into Hinman and SEC corruption. And oh, man, if you didn't see that video yesterday, like it was a little bit of a different type of video. I do different stuff at different times, but go look at that chapter. And it was eye opening. I think the SEC is getting ready to be exposed. They're going to have to back off of a lot of different things if they don't want to be fully exposed. So now let's move on here. Let's move on. So now this, it was a little bit of stellar news now. Okay. So we have a little bit of stellar news. And this is a very, very good news. So this article here is titled Stellar will invest $100 million in Soroban smart contracts apps in bid to beat Ethereum. Okay, I get it. As far as the title, Ethereum is the most popular smart contract platform. I don't believe it's the best. You have Solana, you have Algorand, you have Hedera. Very, very advanced, those smart contract systems, but I get it. Ethereum is the top dog, so that's who you use in the title. I just want Stellar to do the best that they possibly can. Do good. This is great. Yes, I want Stellar smart contracts used everywhere. That means more XLM is going to be used. I showed it on one of the videos. We went deep with it. You can go to stellar.org and you'll see that Soroban uses XLM in a myriad of different ways. Is very interesting. Not to mention, if you bring a huge volume over to Stellar, they have surge pricing. You can also find info about that on stellar.org. So let's read this little tidbit here. It says, Stellar is a blockchain that is trying to beat Ethereum. And so the Stellar Development Foundation will invest $100 million to get developers to make apps for its platform. Good. The foundation is launching the Soroban smart contracts platform, which gives Stellar, is launching. It already launched Soroban, but it says, which gives Stellar a better footing to compete with Ethereum. In the past, it handled just payments and cryptocurrency, but now it has smart contracts platform that developers, including game makers, can use to create blockchain apps such as non-fungible tokens, games, and decentralized finance apps, which is going to be epic once everything starts really, really building up and just taking off. In my humble opinion, it says $100 million fund to kickstart those apps comes as an important time. I think they mean at an important time, as funding for blockchain games dried up in the last few quarters. Well, how successful are blockchain games? I'd rather focus on everything else. Even NFTs are doing pretty good right now. It says Soroban is the Stellar Development Foundation's long-awaited smart contracts platform that we know. With Soroban now live on the network's mainnet, Stellar enters a new era, enabling developers worldwide to create, deploy, and interact with decentralized applications on its blockchain. The release of Soroban represents the most substantial upgrade. Okay, so they're going into a lot of stuff that we know, a lot of info that we're already very, very familiar with. I'm scrolling down to see if there's anything else significant here. With $100 million allocated to the Soroban Adoption Fund, the Stellar Development Foundation aims to incentivize and support projects leveraging the smart contract capabilities of the network. This investment underscores SDF's commitment to fostering innovation and growth within the Stellar ecosystem. Stellar has it has so many advantages. I don't see why this wouldn't go absolutely berserk. They're so cheap, so fast, and I use Stellar for a lot of stuff. Right. I use the actual blockchain, the chain I use it for. Now, I'm not just a holder of XLM. I've used the blockchain for a lot of different things, and it's so smooth, so fast, very secure. Did I say cheap already? It's so cheap. I love it. I love it. It can definitely compete. Definitely. So, we'll see how all this works out, but this is great. I'm very happy to hear this. It says, quote, SDF aims to deliver the tools and technology necessary to power a next generation financial system, one that is both decentralized and real world ready. Soroban opens the doors for decentralized apps. Okay. And I also think, once again, I never buy into the whole Stellar is the people's coin thing. I never have. That's not just not what I've seen. They work with a lot of big companies. Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, United Nations, Bank for International Settlements, is CC Bank. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So I think what's going to happen, first of all, I truly believe, and I could be wrong on this, I think Wisdom Tree is going to go, Wisdom Tree and Franklin Templeton and the Bank for International Settlements, who has their green bonds on Stellar, I think they're going to go nuts with this. And they may experiment for a little while, but I think that they'll really like this. And other companies will come over. They'll say, who's this Stellar company? Why is Wisdom Tree using? Why is Franklin Templeton using smart contracts on Stellar? They're cheaper, better. I think a lot of companies will swap out Ethereum for other smart contract platforms. Even, like I said, Solana, I think they'll swap it for Solana. Stellar, Algorand's in there. I love all of these companies. That's my smart contract grouping. Solana, Algorand, now Stellar's in there. Hedera is in there. Zenfin XDC is also in there. They're the big dogs in smart contracts as far as I'm concerned. And there's other really good smart contract platforms, but I'm not involved with those. I'm not holders of those protocols. So I try not to speak on things that I don't have or I don't really know. Like I may speak on Cardano. I don't have any Cardano, but I used to have Cardano and I took heavy profits on Cardano. But anyway, because of that, I know how good Cardano is. So Cardano is also in there. So I almost forgot about them. My apologies, Cardano community. So now let's move on here. All right, let's move on here. We have some more news here. Oh, so now we have Bitcoin, a Bitcoin article. There's so much going on with Bitcoin. It's so bullish right now that I actually understand with this dip why a lot of the big money people, and you've seen the articles, I'm pretty sure you have, why a lot of the big money people, even though there's a dip, they're bold enough to come out now and say, you know what, we're buying more. And I get it because of, it's so weird to me. I'm seeing a lot of articles saying, oh, this is being driven by retail. How? But all the major article writers saying it's driven by institutional inflows, right? So I guess it's institutional inflows. Institutions provide something to what would otherwise be retail investors. It's like all this like semantical verbiage. I don't really care about that. But what it really boils down to is because of the institutional buying of Bitcoin, even amidst retail selling. I say that because we read an article where it showed data that retail was selling heavy. But at the same time as retail selling heavy, and I know you all remember that article, or you can find it easily. At the same time as retail selling heavy, institutions are continuing to buy. So sooner or later, that retail selling has to stop. But here's the thing, institutional buying won't stop. That price will start to go up again. I'm going to tell you right now what Bitcoin is going through right now It reminds me so much of what happened to gold, folks. Gold was extremely low price. I don't know how many of you are here. How many of you are OGs on the channel? Do you remember how low gold was when we first started talking about it? And we got into gold even before then. But anyway, gold was low. And then retail, as retail does what it does and, is selling, the banks start buying record amounts of gold and its price start going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. People were like, oh, gold will never, it can't hit 2000. Didn't hit 2000. Gold can't hit 2050. Didn't hit 2050. Gold can't hit 2100. Didn't hit 2100. But it was driven by the banks and institutions. And this was happening with Bitcoin reminds me of that. And just like gold blew people's minds with its rapid rise, I think Bitcoin is going to do the same. I don't think people have seen anything yet with Bitcoin. And I'm basing that on activity, not predictions or anything, activity. And I believe that knowledge, that experience is why a lot of these legacy system bigwigs are so bullish on Bitcoin right now. They see the writing on the wall. There is a possibility of a massive rise beyond what people have seen. But anyway, let's read this little tidbit here. Let me scroll down here. It says Altcoin Daily recently dove into this trend, pointing out that the surge in ETF investments shows a widening acceptance of Bitcoin's usefulness. Well, it's a moneymaker. People want money, and it's been making a lot of money for a lot of people. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's climb to new highs is gaining steam, with big players like Standard Chartered Bank predicting it could hit $150,000 by the year end. We covered that yesterday, I believe. I believe it was yesterday. This positive outlook reflects a growing confidence in Bitcoin's value and its potential to shake up finance. Notable figures like Cathie Wood are even more bullish, believing Bitcoin could soar to $1 million in the next few years. I'm glad they clarified that because I referenced that the other day, these $1 million Bitcoin predictions. And I was speaking on Ark Invest, which is led by Cathie Wood, but I didn't remember the time frame that she had stated. So now that they're saying next few years, still $1 million Bitcoin. I don't know. It says Wood sees Bitcoin as a game changer. It could. If it goes there, I'll take it. But I don't know about that. Wood sees Bitcoin as a game changer, not in just finance, but in how we think about money. All right. So it says the path will be tough. Bitcoin's resilience in the face of challenges is remarkable. Akin to Uber's rapid rise in the transport industry, the resilience suggests that Bitcoin has crossed a significant threshold and is set for more growth. Now, here's the good part here. It says a report by Bernstein. We actually covered some stuff from Bernstein about a week or two ago. A report by Bernstein's analysts suggests that Bitcoin could become a $3 trillion market by 2025. Showing big businesses. That's what I'm talking about. It's just driven by big businesses. Showing big businesses interest in cryptocurrencies and hinting at Bitcoin's role as a key investment and wealth preservation tool. See, when you get stuff like that from extremely reputable organizations like Bernstein, it makes one wonder. That's unbelievable. If that happens, crypto is going to go to places most people couldn't even fathom. But those who benefit will be those who are positioned well. So now let's move on here. Get to some of this Solana news. And I don't know what just happened. I just clicked on that link and everything's going haywire. All right. So now this article is titled, you'll understand why I'm laughing. Solana co-founder Anatoly tells community to stop investing in meme coin pre-sales. You're going to lose that fight. Nope, you're not going to win, sir. I was reading an article. People are making, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people losing a ton of money, but they don't care about that. The public, massive public doesn't care about that because people are making a lot of money also from these meme coins. I was reading the article, and here's the thing. They're being pushed more than I've seen anything ever be pushed. And the people accept them easily. And the articles just keep talking about people making millions on these meme coins. And let me tell you something right now, sir. The people are not going to turn away from something that can make them a quick $10,000, $200,000, or even $500,000. They're not going to turn away from it. So I wouldn't even address this if I were you, because you don't want to rile up those bees. You know, rile up the bees, you get stung. I'm telling you right now. You know, and they are sure they're bringing a lot of volume to the chain, or how do they phrase that here? I'm going to read this little tidbit. It says Solana Labs co-founder Anatoly Yakovenko has seemingly taken a stand against Solana-based meme coins, calling for investors to, quote, stop doing this, unquote, in relation to data showing the high volume of SOL being sent to meme coin pre-sale contracts. It says on-chain sleuth Zach XBT shared the image below detailing a list of social media accounts that recently raised significant funding for meme coins on Solana. So it was something about congestion. Anatoly quoted and then they go into it again where he says, stop doing this. Meme coin fervor recently helped drive SOL prices over $200 for the first time since the last bull market and mark a new all-time high market cap. As of press time, they talk about some airdrops and such, but there was something in here about congestion. But what are you going to do? At least people are using that chain, you know. But I wouldn't go against them, to be quite honest. But to each his own. As of press time, SOL is down 15% from its local high to trade around 179. I saw it at 180, so that's pretty accurate. Meme coins seen by some as exit liquidity gambling, and important community innovation by others. Okay, potentially drive interest in Solana for the wrong reasons. Who's to decide that? People do what they want. So now, let's move on here. We have some more bullish Solana news. This one is titled Solana's 60% rise forecast could impact crypto market. It could impact our pockets for sure. That would be nice. It says as Solana's investment landscape brightens with a forecasted 60% rise, the crypto community buzzes with the potential of a new contender. Wait a minute. What do you mean? This unnamed asset boasting superior technology. Wait, did you do a bait and switch on this article? Did you try to trick me? With a glowing 60% growth forecast, Solana reaffirms its position as a stalwart of innovation. Yep, they did a bait and switch. So they're talking about Solana and the 60 and the big predictions that have been coming out. My favorite one was from Michael. Who was it from? Raoul Pal. I believe it was Raoul Pal. And he was talking about how Solana might go to $600 or $800, something like that. And they use that to try to introduce some other coin, but they don't say that in the headline. I'm not even going to mention that. Let's move on. All right. So I had another Solana article, but we will skip that for now. Let's go here to, I have a Cardano article. So now this one here is titled Cardano Staking ETF debuts on Swiss Stock Exchange. So that's a good development for Cardano. It says, this exchange traded fund created by Liquid Finance in collaboration with Issuance Swiss AG and introduces a way for investors to engage in ADA native to the Cardano blockchain alongside earning potential staking rewards. The ETF is designed to track the market performance of the ADA token and returns generated from staking the token. Staking involves participant. Well, we know what staking is, but that's a really good development there. So we're going to move on. I'm trying to get in as many of these articles as I possibly can today. And, well, we have an altcoin season article. So this one is really good. So, well, at least I hope it's good. This article is titled, Altcoins Could Face a Mania, quote unquote, mania phase soon. I would love that. I mean, things been going pretty good for quite a few different coins already. So I would love a mania to happen for sure. Altcoins have demonstrated notable composure in the face of Bitcoin's recent volatility, as highlighted in the latest Bitfinex Alpha, unquote, report. The Total 3 index, which excludes Bitcoin, Ethereum to measure the rest of the crypto market, reached a new cycle high, With a market capitalization of $788 billion on March the 14th, the new cycle high of the total 3 index represents over a 74% increase from its peak during the bear market, signaling robust growth in altcoin investments. This trend highlights a diversifying crypto landscape where altcoins are not just gaining traction, but also attracting significant capital inflows. The index is now a mere 6.5% shy of its April 2022 high of $837.5 billion. Surpassing this threshold could usher altcoins into a, quote, mania phase, unquote, characterized by heightened investor enthusiasm and substantial gains across the sector. That is in altcoin season, if I've ever heard it. All right, so now we have a Coinbase article, and then we have something here about some hackers, and we have one about Brics. Which one do we do? You know what? Let's end off with the Brics Nation article, because I like to switch it up. I like to have differentiation in what I do and what I read to keep things interesting. So now this article is titled Brics, How Its Blockchain Currency Changes the Global Economy. Well, we will see if it does. It says, over recent weeks, Brics Economic Alliance has unveiled its plans to develop a blockchain-based payment system and a native cryptocurrency. In that, the collective may well be prepared to shift the global economic landscape completely. The effort is part of the bloc's long-held commitment to de-dollarization. In its efforts, it has promoted local currencies to lessen Western influences on international economics. Yet, with its most recent project, the collective could rapidly change the landscape of international payments or international settlements. Okay, so I don't know why they do this on Watcher Guru, but sometimes they'll put like it just starts getting good and then they'll chop it, and right below it, it's almost as if a new article begins. Like, I don't know if they have multiple writers. I'm not sure why it's presented like that, but we will see. We'll see how impactful it is. They're all still going to have to interact. They just want to be able to do it on their own terms. They're still going to have to interact with the West. The West is still going to have to interact with them. They just rely on each other too much. The same way China owns so much, farmland in the United States and certain businesses in the United States, even though they've sold a great amount. But what I'm saying, and United States actors have a lot of interest in China and around the world as well. So they're still going to have to interact. It's just like everybody's positioning themselves to be able to do it on their own terms. So we'll see how that shakes out. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.